bystander effect. The bystander effect is a psychological concept that states an individual who is in distress is less likely to receive help when there is a greater number of people present. In other words, people are less likely to offer help to a victim when there are other people present. The bystander effect was first popularized by John Darley and Bill Latney, two psychologists, after the murder of Kitty Genovese in New York in 1964. In this case, Kitty was stabbed to death by a man at her doorstep. There were about a dozen witnesses who lived nearby, but neither called the police. They thought a couple was just having a fight. They didn't realize she was being murdered. The police wasn't called until 30 minutes after she was first stabbed. In 1968, Bill Latney and John Darley conducted experiments that showed that depending on how many observers that are in an area, the amount of time it takes for an individual to take action can vary. In one experiment, Darley and Latney placed one person in a room and told them that either 1, 3, or 5 people would be communicating with them in another room. But the secret was that the people that they were supposed to be communicating with, it was just recorded voices. In this experiment, the recorded voices then began to have a seizure and scream for help. This was meant to show that the participant was having a seizure. Most of the participants who thought they were alone with the victim responded at a faster speed than the participants with a larger number of people present. Latney and Darley concluded that the participants who thought they were alone intervened because they felt the most pressure to help because they were the only ones around. They also concluded that the people who thought they weren't alone felt less pressure to help, and because of this, there was a slower reaction. A newer recent example of the bystander effect would be 16-year-old Kasim Morris. In 2019, Kasim was jumped, beaten, and stabbed to death, while 60 or so onlookers just watched, and even some started to record the entire crime. Compared to the Kitty Genovese case, this case is somewhat different because the entire heinous act was caught on video. But the similarity is that still not one bystander took action during these crimes. Now, one personal experience I can explain is when my brother was shot. Now, this didn't personally happen to me, but this is personal. One day, my brother was shot in the middle of the street during the day. And as he crawled, bleeding, asking for help to the nearby cars driving past, no one intervened to help. No one came by to see if he was okay. He was bleeding. Nobody intervened. And he was left there. But fortunately, someone finally came to help. Now, the reason the bystander effect can be very dangerous is because someone's life could be on the line. And without the action of others to help, someone could be seriously hurt. The fact that people feel less pressure to intervene in a dire situation when there are more people around can lead to someone's untimely death, like Kitty Genovese. In an emergency situation, people will have a tendency to look to others for the correct decision. When no one takes action, this can cause people to perceive the situation as less serious than it actually is. To prevent this, we should take action no matter who is around, whether there's a large number of people or just you. No one will help unless someone does first. Will you be the first?